Hello, how are you? Welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the alerts tree section of the Integration Partners Data Managed Services product. After you've logged in, you'll come into the dashboard section of the user interface. And over here on the left-hand side, you can actually see alerts. Before we click on that, notice that there's a very quick count that's presented to you here for how many alerts are actually within your environment. In this particular case, we have 2 orange and 6 yellow. So let's go ahead and click on the alerts tree. This will bring us into a table that shows us all of the alerts that are currently active. So in this particular case, we have the orange alerts at the top, the yellow alerts at the bottom. We can see the dates that they began, the device that they're on, the value that was collected, and on the very far right-hand side here, you can see the threshold, which is the reason why it violated the alert and ended up in this section. So there's a couple of things to look at while we're here. So first and foremost is you can click on any alert and you can see specifics about the error, what category it came in, the effective thresholds, which are available down here, and things like the time and the device. You can actually click on the device here and get kicked out into the device tree where it will show you the temperature and the metric that is currently violated, but it'll do it in context of the other metrics that are collected on the device, which may be useful to you. You can also sort while you're here, so if you choose to reverse sort it, you can sort by the actual device or service. So any of the columns on the top, you can go ahead and click on. There's also a way to filter all of these alerts, so in case you're looking for something specific, and you can come up here and we can do things like collect just all of the alerts that are on switches. And so that will go ahead and filter our alerts tree so that we only see those. We can figure out if there are alerts on just a specific device. In this particular case, there are 2 on our .23 device. And pretty much any field that is there, we can go ahead and pick HTTP. In this particular case, we only have 1 HTTP error in the environment. So as we're looking at this, sometimes it's a little bit missed, but over here on the right-hand side, we can actually see this more. And there's some things here that make more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead before we click there, and I am going to get our alerts table back to the way it looked before, and I'm going to click on more. So there are a couple of things here that are very interesting. One of those is you can click on severity, which will now give us the ability to filter just on severities. But even more than this, there's the ability to search on cleared. Cleared in this particular case are those things that violated for a second and then went away. And in certain aspects of the management platform, you have to fail the data source or the metric that we're collecting several times before it will actually go ahead and generate an alarm. In this particular instance, we can go see that, filter on it, track what's actually going on. So this is a historical view of all of the alerts on the system and may prove helpful if you're just looking around trying to figure out a reoccurring problem, whether or not it's happened before. This is the way you would probably go do this. Once you had the alerts and the data sources they were firing, you could kick out to the device tree and actually troubleshooting the data. So the alerts menu is here. It's available to you. It will show you all of those alerts, the violated thresholds, what those thresholds are. If for a particular reason that a threshold is set too low for your particular environment, at Integration Partners we do our best to make the alerts intelligent and meaningful. But if there is for some reason something that is too low for your environment and it's a normal way your environment is operating, please feel free to call your service delivery manager, your onboarding project manager, or the NOC and ask that the threshold be adjusted. And this is one of those places where you can see the values that are throwing the error as well as the threshold. And the NOC is here to help. So if you're calling the NOC, your SDM, or the onboarding project manager, and you need a little help trying to figure out what that threshold would be, we will happily work with you to make sure that the alerts that we're sending you and your team are meaningful. I want to thank you very much for your time. Remember, if you have any questions, reach out to anybody at Integration Partners. We are there to help.